I do think that it is worth checking out because they do go somewhere very different with the multi-camera family sitcom, the serialized storyline going on with it that I think is just not what you expect with this type of show. Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today we're talking about the first season of Netflix's new show, No Good Nick. Starring Joan, Hart, and Sean Astin, the show follows a family whose lives are turned upside down when a young, street-smart con artist shows up on their doorstep claiming to be a distant relative. Give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments so we can talk about No Good Nick together. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. What I think makes No Good Nick so unique is that this is not just a multi-cam sitcom, this also has a serialized kind of mystery drama going on at the same time. So this is not your typical family comedy, you know, and Nick is involved in not just one, but two different scams going on, and she also kind of doesn't really know the depth of the scams that she's working on. I thought that that was a really unique concept because it's not what you expect for a show like this. I also really enjoyed the family, you know, led by Joan, Hart, and Sean Astin, and I thought that everyone that was kind of in that immediate family of like the mom, dad, son, daughter were really strong actors actually. I thought they really embodied the roles that they were playing, and you really got to see their growth throughout the season, especially the growth between Ed and Liz as parents. You could really see them go from being on opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to the idea of having Nick come live with their family, and then as the season goes on, they really start to care for her and want her involved in their lives. We also get to see Liz and Ed grow in terms of how they work together as a team. Something else that I found really refreshing about this show was the way that they portrayed their young characters. First of all, we have Molly and Jeremy, the siblings in this story, who are both very passionate about their futures and are very ambitious. You have Molly, who is an activist, she's really into social media, and you have Jeremy, who is the youngest student council president ever, and he has all of these goals that he wants to achieve. We also had a recurring character come in, Lisa Haddad, played by Josie Tota. For those of you who might not know, Josie is actually a transgender actress, and I thought it was really refreshing to see her come into the picture, you know, running for student council, being a student at this high school, and they didn't make her only about her identity. They didn't actually even bring it up, and I thought that that was cool because, you know, it's really great to get that representation of seeing transgender characters being brought to life, but it's also great to be able to see a transgender actor come into a project and just be able to play a role and play somebody else and not always have their identity be the only focus. So I thought that that was really awesome representation and really a refreshing storyline to focus on. And we also see Nick, who's trying to scam this family, deal with this back and forth of, you know, she's trying to scam them, but also she's starting to like staying there. She likes this family, and it's really hard for her to do what she's supposed to do there because she's starting to appreciate this family and everything that they're doing for her, and wishes that this is the kind of life that she had. At times, the series does get real. You know, we see real moments of fear and anxiety, even a scene where Liz is literally breaking down crying in the kitchen because she can't find her wedding ring, and it's not done in like a joking way, it's done very seriously. Or we get to see how some of these cons are affecting Nick as a kid. She tries to put on a brave face, but she really is dealing with a lot of anxiety trying to figure out how to deal with these situations. They really blend some of these more reality, serious moments with these goofy gags and jokes that just make this show kind of like a dramedy, you know, a comedy drama, multi-camera family sitcom with a serialized con artist storyline. Like, there's a lot going on in this season. On the other side of things though, I would say the weakest part of this show for me was the actress who played Nick. I think everyone else in the family felt like they had figured out their characters and they were their characters, whereas with Nick, I felt like she was acting. Like, yes, this is a sitcom where you kind of get Disney, Nickelodeon vibes in general, but her specifically, I felt like I didn't believe her necessarily in the role, and a lot of times it felt a bit cheesy and forced, even though I did enjoy the storyline that she was dealing with. The other thing is that Nick is involved in these two scams that are going on around this family, and we just don't really quite learn why. You know, for the first scam, we know that they're just trying to get money. But there's a second scam going on. I don't want to spoil too much, but we just don't know why they specifically are with this family. There's a reason, but we haven't learned that yet. So I'm hoping that maybe that's something we'll learn in a second season if the show gets one. I'm also really interested to see, based off of the cliffhanger that they ended on this season with, what's gonna happen if they do get a season 2, because obviously people are kind of figuring out that Nick might not be who she said she is. I wonder how she's gonna try to get out of that one, because it's gonna be a bit complicated. When it comes down to it, I would say No Good Nick is more of a show for a younger audience. It's a little bit cheesy at times. I think if you like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon Nickelodeon, this might be the perfect show for you. But at the same time, I do think that it is worth checking out because they do go somewhere very different with the multi-camera family sitcom, the serialized storyline going on with it that I think is just not what you expect with this type of show. And I do think that mystery is very interesting, and you're kind of balancing this idea of this family and this con that's going on, and I just think it's a very unique story. If you like this video, make sure to check out my other reviews over here and drop down in the comments to continue the conversation. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about No Good Nick. See ya!